Michael, it's the first win of the season for your team, having had to come from behind early on. How would you assess what you've watched tonight?
Yeah, I'm obviously delighted to get the win. Obviously, it's been a sort of long time coming. I thought it was one we thoroughly deserved. Delighted that the players kept on the front foot. They could have stepped away from it after being, going a goal behind. I thought we started really aggressively and was good. And then the first time that they get an opportunity to pass the ball into our box, they scored a goal. So that was a major disappointment at the time, and you're wondering how they're going to respond from it. And they've responded really well. Scored a couple of decent goals, missed a lot of opportunities. That's the only probably downside. But we missed a lot of opportunities by being really aggressive and pressing really high and being on the front foot. And I said to the players in there, then the game's a different game when you're playing in the opposition's half of the field for the majority of it. And they have to realise that, it's sometimes you've got to be brave, and if the opposition open you up and they produce a bit of skill, a bit of quality play, I think we can all sort of take that on the chin. But we have to put ourselves in a position where we're being aggressive and asking questions to the opposition. I thought we did that tonight against, let's face it, top team, and probably one of the strongest teams that they can put out in terms of 21s.
Some goal as well for the equaliser from Tommy McDermott.
Yeah, I know he got slight deflection, but Tommy's probably shown tonight obviously what he is capable of. He's shown that in his debut. I thought he was really unfortunate on his debut to get sent off, especially when I've seen some tackles recently in some games. It was nice that he was able to play tonight. A little bit unfortunate he's not going to be able to play at the weekend. I do think he brings something different to the group. But yeah, delighted for him. It'll keep his sort of motivation skills right up there, ready for when he can be involved again in the league campaign. And there was loads and loads of good performances tonight. The back three, back five worked really well in sync with each other. The two young lads in the middle of the park, Tommy and Isaac working cleverly together, and obviously you've got the likes of obviously TP in the front two there, but TP run his socks off, to be fair.
Yeah, Chelsea had a lot of players who have played youth international football in their team tonight. So how nice for Isaac England to go up against them tonight. Had an assist as well for the second goal.
No, absolutely, and you know what? It's one of them with Isaac. That's part of his game that he clearly does have to improve, his mobility and athleticism, and that will get better over time. Sometimes some players develop from an athleticism point of view a lot quicker than others, and I think when you spend a lot of time at a club the size of Chelsea and everything that comes with that, and the availability to programs, to gymnasiums, etc., and one-on-one sessions with fitness people, they get a little bit of a head start on a lot of clubs. So from Isaac's point of view, the more sort of exposure he has to that, and we'll give him that, the better, because he stuck at it. We know what he can do with the ball. He's a good passer of the ball. He passes the ball forward. But I was really pleased what he did with out possession tonight more than in possession.
And how nice to get another youngster, Will Gray, on for his first team debut later on. Can you tell us actually a little bit more about Will, who I'm sure is a new name for lots of supporters? Yeah,
no, listen, Will's deserved his opportunity as well. He's someone who's been with us most of pre-season. He's played in a few of the pre-season games. He's a player that, I think he's still 16. Is that right? Yeah, still 16. And he's one that, we've got high hopes for in terms of being in and around the first team on a regular basis. He's a player that can be quite destructive if you allow him and let the leash off. He'll get after people and he'll make tackles, but he's also comfortable in possession of the ball as well. So delighted that we had the opportunity to give him some exposure.
Yeah, good confidence boost ultimately, isn't it, for you all tonight, I'm sure, after what has clearly been a very testing, difficult start to the season.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? There's been some really good signs in the last couple of games. I think I said to yourself after the game at Notts County, I can't believe we've lost a 50-50 game 4-1. I don't know how we managed to do that. I thought we played well in the game. And then on Saturday, I thought we were bang average in that first period. But in the second half, I thought we were excellent on Saturday. I thought we were, and we created many opportunities. And we lost the game because of what had happened previously. not because of what happened in the game, and it was just a little bit more of a mindset. That's why I was delighted tonight. You know, there were certain boxes that we needed to tick, and one of them was obviously going behind and winning a game. Now, I want to make sure that hopefully come Saturday we can go ahead in the game and give us an even better chance of winning it.
It wouldn't be a post-match interview, of course, of this time of the year without asking the usual question. Anything happening in terms of recruitment? Are you getting close? Do you expect any newcomers before the Appleton game this weekend?
Yeah, listen, whether they're here before Appleton or not, obviously time will tell. I'm quietly confident that one that could happen, but I think, you know, two, possibly even three has to happen. You know, for us to make sure that we sort of go between now and January and be really competitive and make sure that, you know, we put ourselves in a position which is a lot healthier than what it is right now.
And in terms of departures, is anything likely to happen there? Players perhaps leaving the club?
I mean, hopefully, but obviously that is slightly more difficult than obviously it is trying to get players in. And you know, I've had some sort of difficult but honest conversations with players and made them aware of what sort of our position is as a football club. And you know, unfortunately, there's one or two players that I think is going to be the best for all parties for them to move on, and whether we can do that or not, we'll certainly try our best.
It must be difficult. Is that a difficult part of the role for you?
It is, but I think if you can be as honest as you possibly can, it's less difficult, because the reality is it's not personal. It's just, you know, certainly sometimes, you know, whether it's timing, whether it's circumstances, you know, them type of conversations have to happen, and it's unfortunate at times, but the reality is if we want to move forward and want to do the right things, it's the right thing to do.
A good performance and result tonight. Thanks for your time, Mike.
Cheers, thanks.